Let's hear what Mike Brown had to say about what Keon Ellis has been doing defensively since being in this rotation.
I was talking to one of my coaches a couple of days ago, and I was trying to figure out who he reminds me of defensively, and I'm not sure yet. His skill set is unique. His arms are a lot longer than what you think. His anticipation and his feel for a young guy, never been around it. Not for a second-year guy that played in the G League his whole first year and got limited minutes so far. I've been in the league 30-something years, and I can't fully grasp it because he's so young, but he plays like an old soul, and his feel is like an old soul. But he's probably a little bit quicker than you think, a little bit more athletic than you think. Arms are a little longer than you think. And his feel, anticipation, hands, it's early, but they might be second to nobody. I'm not sure, so it's going to take some time for me to really figure him out. But he's doing a hell of a job for us.
Wow, I mean, Mike Brown says I've been in the league 37 years. The feel, the anticipation, he's not seeing anything like it. He's like, this guy spent last year in the G League, spot minutes this year. Says he's like an old soul out there. Longer than you think, quicker than you think, more athletic than you think. That from Mike Brown just raved about Keon Ellis. Like, that's a guy he's playing. And he's going to be playing vital minutes for the Kings as they make this playoff push. It's crazy. It's crazy. This is what I've said this, a couple podcasts ago, so I know I'm repeating myself here, but it's what I love about sports is we all, us on the podcast, all the other podcast fans on social media, we're all talking about this team and, oh, this is the rotation. This is what I think. Oh, this guy will do this. And I don't know about this guy. No one would have been like, hey, you know what's going to happen in March? Dude, I think Keon Ellis is going to, he's going to end up forcing himself in the starting lineup, and he's going to keep it. And it's going to be because he is changing the Kings defense.
Dude,
that's amazing.
And that's it's crazy to see too, because the opportunities it didn't just happen when Kevin Huerter dislocates his shoulder, right? Like, we see the in and out of these opportunities in the starting role because of other health with other people. And then you see it with the opportunities in the second unit coming off the bench. And then seeing it now, because unfortunately what happened to Kevin Huerter, it just like, it's going to make it more seamless now and not have to mess with Kevin Huerter's confidence or anything, because hopefully Kevin Huerter's just back quicker than we even know, right? But I think now, even if and when Kevin Huerter does come back, you can go in this situation and go in this direction without anyone being butthurt, without anyone feeling a certain way, because it's just so obvious now. I feel like that you go in this direction, where I was even one of the ones being like, no, you keep going with Kevin and HB, and you just give them shorter leashes, less minutes if they're not producing. Now you're just seeing setting the tone early is really generating these wins.
Harrison Barnes also had some things to say about Keon Ellis.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, one of the very first days that Keon was with us in camp, as a two-way. And I saw him play a little bit, and I was like, he's going to be an NBA player. And hopefully he's here, but he's definitely going to be an NBA player. And I think, he's been preparing, waiting for this moment just to be able to show on a consistent basis what he can do. And there's some things he does out there, some of the steals he makes, the blocks he makes, it's only things that he can do. So it's been great to see him continue to do that and show that consistently.
Some of the steals he makes, some of the blocks he makes are things only he can do.
Dude,
hey,
the way that you have a vet and a coach in Mike Brown talking about this guy's defense, the instincts defensively, it's beautiful.
It's exciting because it's exactly what this team needed, right? This is the type of guy. We had Sabonis We did a short conversation with Sabonis that we dropped today, and we asked him about Keon Ellis. And, and we taped this last Friday? So that there were still a few games that have happened since then, but you could tell how much he liked Keon Ellis in this clip. Here's what he had to say, Morgan, if you're just let me play it.
He definitely on defense, he's there for us. He's like our X guy, our glue guy who puts everything together. He's doing what we needed that was missing, and he's just making life easier for everyone. And then on the offensive end, he's not in the way. He shoots when he has to shoot. He knocks down his shots. He's a smart player, and teams respect him. So it's definitely making life easy with him on the court.
It's making life easier. It's crazy. This is what again, my whole point to that, this is what makes sports amazing. So
you do say that point a lot. And what I love about it is, we always talk about the joy that these players play with, or Malik Monk plays with, or when they're winning and they're vibing, just there's so much joy around this team. But I think as a sports fan, and especially as an NBA fan, the joy that stories and journeys like this bring you, bring us. It's and especially when it's a team that you root for, and it's not just you're talking about this other guy that's been doing well on this other team. It's no, a team that you root for, you cover. And especially for me and you, Deuce, I really love that we got to see so much of his development in the G, and to see the leap that it has truly taken is absolutely on another level, incredible, magical. And I'm so happy for him, but I'm really happy for this team and where they can go with him.
Yeah, they hold the Raptors to 89 points. Third time in 5 games they've held a team under 100 points.
Please. You look at the 7-0 when Keon Ellis is starting for the Sacramento. Sometimes I go, how much do I want to actually put into that? Well, I mean, at first, even when it was 5-0, when Keon Ellis is starting, I was different situations, opportunities, whatever happened, it looked great. Now you really got to put a little bit more into it, as you're exactly what you're saying with the Kings defense and the impact that his minutes has not only put with the Kings defense, but I think setting that tone at the start of the game with him being in that starting unit has also made a huge difference with not only how teams feel the pressure when they are facing the Sacramento Kings with Keon Ellis in that starting lineup, but also how the Kings vibe off of having that one extra piece that is a good defender in that starting unit. So it's a lot more fun to watch this Kings team when they are understanding how to play defense together, and especially when they're getting it done against bad teams like the Toronto Raptors. And it's not just, we're knocking down our threes because they're kind of this or that or whatever on the defensive end. No, the Kings are getting it done on the defensive end. Like you just said, the numbers show it. And again, believe your eyeballs.
Yeah, last 10 games. And now they have to do it consistently. They have to keep pushing that direction. I mean, it's hard for me to believe that this Kings team is going to keep up the pace of being a top 5 defensive team like they have been this month. But Keon Ellis, and one guy can't help that. I saw some people in the chat saying it's crazy how one guy could change the defense. It's it is, you're right. But it's not just him doing it out there. It's Fox and Keegan getting some help. It allows Sabonis a little more flexibility. When you can guard the ball and stay in front of your man, that goes a long way in helping the defense, right? You're going to get beat sometimes, and Brunson got him late in that game against the Knicks or whatever because he thought a screen was coming. But besides that, he stays attached to his man, and then the rotations are great. With good defense, how much of it is communication, staying in front of your guy, and playing physical? That goes a long way. You don't need a whole bunch of all defensive guys to be able to do that, but Keon has the elements of, God, if he keeps playing like this, he might be one of those guys we're talking about as one of the best defenders in the league. The numbers in this sample size back that up, where opponents coming into tonight were shooting 34% from the field when defended by him. I mean, his contests are fantastic.
Yeah.
The way he did the Bane last game was outrageous. How many times he blocked him? A couple of times on jumpers. It's that type of stuff. And if you're playing with someone like Keon Ellis, you're going to be more amped up. That makes De'Aaron happy. And then when you have these lineups too, where like Monk out there and those guys can get a stop, force a turnover, and get out and go, holy shit. It makes it fun. And that's how you score 123 points with only hitting 12 threes.
It's just like you said, like having the right pieces too that go along with having good defenders. You get a deflection or a steal from someone like Keon Ellis, and then you have one of the fastest players in the league in De'Aaron Fox, and you're able to push the ball. Yes, it's like the perfect equation for a style of basketball that can be played with a team to elevate the special pieces that they do have. They might not have Kawhi Leonard. They might not have Rudy Gobert and Edwards. I don't know, just name whoever that gets so much praise around the league. But what they do have are some special pieces that have skill sets that you can elevate if you have the right combo. And the right combo feels like it's starting to figure it out, the right rotation. I really, really enjoy what we're seeing.